right? This is not just news, this is a declaration of war. They called us sheep, said we'd wilt under the aura of San Mamés, and laughed when Butland was dropped. But who's laughing now? 10 men, then 9, and still they couldn't break us. The media's fizzing, the Spaniards are rattled, and Dessers, he's still chasing his first touch. We've got slaughter from Spain, fire from Ferguson, Butland's brutal truth, and a warning shot straight to Bilbao's ego. And if you think that's wild, just wait till you hear what the world had to say about our fight. Want to see these and more Rangers news? Stay until the end. We are the people. You're no daft. You watched it with your own eyes. Rangers clinging to life in this Europa League roller coaster pulled off what can only be described as a battle-hardened 0-0 at Ibrox against Athletic Bilbao. It was less a game of football and more a war of attrition. And when that final whistle blew, after a marathon of 12 minutes added on, you could feel the roar shake Govan like thunder over the Clyde. But let's be honest, it was less about what Rangers did and more about what Bilbao couldn't. A huge helping hand came early, 12 minutes in to be precise, when Robin Prupper was shown a red that frankly looked more like a crime against common sense than a foul against football. Inaki Williams went down like he'd been shot in Solihull Street, and the ref, after a glance at VAR, bought it. Ali McCoist didn't mince his words. Really harsh, he said. Spot on, Ali. The big Dutchman might have been clumsy, but he was going for the ball. Still, off he went, and suddenly it was Rangers with the upper hand, or at least numerically. Now here's where it gets sticky. While the back line held strong, up front we saw the return of the same old frustration, Cyriel Dessers, a striker by name, but on Thursday you'd be hard-pressed to call it by trade. 18 touches, just 4 passes, 7 losses of possession, 2 shots off target. That's not a striker, that's a passenger. Yes, he scored 5 goals under Barry Ferguson, including that beauty against Fenerbahce. But let's not kid ourselves. When the stakes are this high, the margins matter, and Dessers, as usual, was found wanting. Now, compare him to Hamza Igamane, who only got tossed on in the 85th minute. What's Ferguson waiting for? The Moroccan stats are sharper than a pint in the Loudon on Derby Day. 4 Europa League goals, better minutes per goal, and here's the clincher. 21 fewer big chances missed than Dessers this season. 21, you're going to San Mamés next week needing something heroic. Can you really risk another wasted night from Dessers when you've got Igamane, clinical, composed, and hungry sitting on the bench? Here's what I want you to ask yourself, and maybe light a wee fire in the comments section while you're at it. If Barry Ferguson starts Cyriel Dessers over Hamza Igamane in Bilbao, is he handing Athletic the advantage before a ball's even kicked? Well, isn't that just typical? Here we go again, another dose of condescending continental arrogance, this time from Danny Vivian, who seems to think San Mamés is some sort of footballing temple that'll swallow Rangers whole just by the sheer smell of the place. Vivian's been puffing out his chest, mouthing off about this supposed aura that'll apparently have Rangers shaking in their boots. Funny that, coming from a man who just played 90-plus minutes against 10 men and still couldn't find the back of the net. You're not exactly Barcelona circa 2009, pal. He bangs on about how Rangers didn't create a single chance at Ibrox. Maybe he was too busy admiring his haircut to notice the graft, the shape, and the spirit shown by a side playing with one less man for practically the entire match. If anything, it was Athletic Bilbao who looked rattled, as if they expected to steamroll us, and instead found themselves in a dogfight with a club built on pride and grit. And then comes the wee backhander, the patronizing line about Rangers not having as high a reputation as teams they've already beaten. Very good. That's been said before by plenty, and plenty have ended up on the wrong end of a famous Rangers result Fenerbahce didn't fancy it either till they got battered in Istanbul. You can feel the disrespect in his words, can't you? The implication that Rangers are just lucky to be here, just a nuisance in the way of their dream final at San Mamés. But that's exactly the kind of smug nonsense that's fueled Rangers' best European nights. When the world writes them off, they punch right back. Let's see how much of that aura survives when Rangers walk out next week with John Souttar back marshalling the defense, and maybe, just maybe, with a more clinical number 9 up top ready to silence that crowd. Here's what you need to ask, and let it ruffle a few feathers. Is Danny Vivian's arrogance exactly the spark Rangers needed to turn San Mamés from a fortress into a graveyard for Spanish dreams? There's something about hearing Jack Butland speak that cuts deeper than most interviews. You can tell he feels what it means to wear that badge. And when he says it's the end of the world after a Rangers defeat, you know it's not just words, it's a lived experience. It's the weight of expectation, the roar of Ibrox, the sleepless nights, the golf days cancelled because your mind's still stuck on a save you didn't make or a goal you couldn't stop. Since 2012, you've been through more lows than any supporter should have to endure in a lifetime, and yet you still demand more because you remember the highs. Helicopter Sundays, Manchester away days, 55, and that's why there's no room for passengers. That's why Barry Ferguson, one of your own, made the brutal but bold decision to drop Butland for the Europa League quarter-final against Bilbao. Now, whether that's a tactical call or a symbolic one, it doesn't change the fact that Liam Kelly stepped into the pressure cooker with the fire licking at his boots and delivered, saving a penalty, keeping a clean sheet, rated 9.2 on the night. That's no small feat. That's a keeper making his mark when it matters most. And let's not sugarcoat it. Butland's recent form has been ropey, big saves one week, big errors the next. But even as he sat on the bench, you could see he was every inch a team man, posting top draw in praise of Kelly. Shows the character, shows he's hurting but backing the badge. But here's the tension, isn't it? There's loyalty to Butland. He got you this far in Europe. He's been your rock at times. But football's ruthless, and Kelly just earned his shot. Plain and simple. Looking ahead to San Mamés, there can be no sentiment. This is about who gives you the best chance of survival, of glory. So here's the question to chew on, and don't hold back in the comments. Has Jack Butland already played his last big game for Rangers? Or would dropping him again for San Mamés be a betrayal of the man who got you this far? You'd think, after watching Rangers fight like lions with 10 men, then 9, the world would have one word on their lips: respect. But oh no, not if you're sitting in a bar in Bilbao or puffing out your chest in a Basque press room. According to some of these so-called football connoisseurs, Rangers were the victims, the underdog, the Ibrox sheep dragged to the slaughter, except nobody told Liam Kelly the script. Let's break it down. The global reaction to that 0-0 masterclass has been as mixed as a bag of pick and mix at a cine world. The Spanish outlets, they're rattled. Daya calls Rangers the sheep that dared survive a pack of lions, sheep that forced the mighty Athletic to break a 6-year scoring streak in Europe. Some victim, eh? One even says Bilbao's failure to beat 9 men in 112 minutes means they'll now drag Rangers to hell in San Mamés. Good luck with that, pal. We've seen hell. It's called Brescian away on a Tuesday night in winter. San Mamés, bring your sun cream. Koha in Albania called it fiery, and that's about right. The match had it all: VAR drama, a chalked-off goal, a missed penalty, and a goalkeeper in Liam Kelly who rose to the moment like a legend in the making. While Spain moans about missed inspiration, Rangers stood up to the challenge with every sinew. With Dujon Sterling hobbling off late, it was backs against the wall, and they loved it. The Daily Mail, yes, even them, recognized it. a night of grit, no failures, just warriors. Let's be clear, Rangers didn't just hold on, they exposed Bilbao. They showed the world that all the possession, all the flair, all the flashy passing amounts to nothing if you can't break down 10 men on your own turf. And if you think that was tough, wait till Barry Ferguson's side rocks up in Spain with a full squad, nothing to lose, and a chip the size of Ben Nevis on their shoulder. So here's the big question for you, and this one might just light a fire. Are Bilbao and the Spanish media blinded by arrogance, or did Rangers con them into believing the Ibrox sheep routine just to send them crashing out on Holy Thursday? If you haven't seen yesterday's video yet, you're missing out. Explosive news about Rangers that'll leave every fan stunned. Go check it out now.